Hey, what's up, guys? It's Prison Mike here. I realized that I haven't done an Ironblood in a while, and now it seems like as good a time as any to do the stream for this and to actually go over it. I actually already did the first battle here, and unfortunately, because I was working during it as well, I couldn't have my audio on for it, so I'm actually gonna go through that video and I'll just kind of talk it through and stuff now, basically like it was the real deal to give you guys tips and pointers. And just so you guys know, for this particular first battle, I didn't spend a single cent. I didn't buy a single troop. I didn't heal a single troop. As you can see here, I didn't buy anything. I do love this particular fleet decoration here because of the increase in zombies by quite a bit and the increase in your troop percent for your fleet size, but it's just like it's for like 40 bucks basically to get up to that. So I haven't bought one in quite a long time. I just don't think this event's really worth the spending anymore. It's so expensive now to maintain your city and to build up the important things like your officers equipment, your planes, all these things now. That stuff, some things just had to go. I don't want to give Camel any more money than I already have and have to. So events like this just kind of have to go for me. I just haven't been doing them. I haven't had the time or the interest as much either. And so even though I didn't spend any money at all in this event to pretty well, make no mistake, they're still costly because I still had to port around, spend speed, spend gold, and that can be better spent on other alliance events typically. So it's just kind of costly, and normally I cut this one out. The nice thing I will say about this, I mean, so I already showed the rank. These are rewards. If you're gonna, and when I do this event, I try to as cheaply as possible hit the top 20 because that's when you get the 3-day the Space Fortress decoration. So that's usually my goal, is to just try to get in the top 20. And you get some decent, merit for it and stuff too. Trying to get up in like the top 3, top 10, it can be pretty expensive, and so I'm just not bothering. I'm not spending in this type of event, other than the gold in this particular one. But and I'll show you guys kind of what to do, what not to do, I guess, to see how I basically scored what I did and got second this first round. That should definitely be enough, in 439 to finish top 20. So unless people go real ham in the second and third battles. Just to mention this, I guess, because I like to make these educational and entertaining, hopefully, for people. So I already showed you guys this. These are the participation rewards. But the other thing is just, so if you're going to spend money, which I'm not going to, I think there's way more important things to do. And if you build your city right, which I'm hopefully in the process of doing, and make it pretty strong and reliable, you don't really need to buy these things. And these like one-time rented troops, these one-time purchases for different items in the events and stuff like that, those don't last and they're just not worth it. If you build out your city, you can get around even needing those in the longer term. So that's my recommendation. Just one brief thing, this one right here, this 110 of these diamonds for $10, if you're gonna buy for the event, unless you're gonna try and get a nuclear bomb, which I don't think is worth it, but unless you're doing it that way, you really have to buy this one because it just makes the most sense. If you were to spend $30 here, you'd only get 320 versus buying this 3 times, you get 330. Same with like if you were to spend 50 bucks, you get 530. Whereas if you do it 5 times, you get 550. So you just get more by buying this particular one. This is the best one to buy of all of them if you're going to do it and just buying it multiple times, I guess. Again, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm not going to spend anything on this. But if you were going to, that's how you'd have to do it. Item shop wise, I think I still have, okay, I have like one of these shield piercing ones from like ages ago that I just never bothered to use. And so you can see you can still shield. There's still the battle fog. There's this hacker one here, which reduces the damage of the target city's troops by 10% during defense battles. And then the kill points earned is reduced by 20% for basically 5 minutes. So before if you wanted to use this on somebody and then hit them right after that, they'd get a lot less points, and they do less damage in the next 5 minutes. Reflective armor, this one just increases your, the troops can reflect 18% of damage that they take, and increase your points earned by 15%. And then this is the shield piercing one that just lets you pierce through these bubbles, these shields. Full force lets you send your full army, and this is a nuclear bomb that it wounds a whole bunch of troops. Maximum is I think 1 million. I haven't used one in ages, and I've had people try and hit me with them in the past and stuff a couple times, which is kind of entertaining because I don't have troops in my city ever, so I don't know why they want to drop $100 whatever to hit an empty city, but to each their own. So I'm not going to go through all this stuff here. I think just jumping into the event then, I think is probably the best thing to do here, get going on it. I will just say that, like I said, I'm not really spending on this type of event, but I've been frustrated. Like we just had our void, we lost, and I'm pissy over it. So our alliance did okay, but honestly, the nation 1153 had probably 2 to 3 times as many active players as we did, and still drop less bubbles than our stupid nation does. So we have 53 screenshots from the second and third alliances of bubbles dropping. This is not a new issue. If you watch my other void videos, you know how frustrating this has been. And I mean, unfortunately, only 3 of our players in our alliance finished in the top 10. Somebody from JPN did, and then some of the JPN ones here. We had a couple more round down the top, like 20, 21 for sure. But yeah, just in some of the JPN ones, they did a good job, as they always do as well, but there's just too many people dropping bubbles and being sloppy, and it's the same people. It's just, I'm kind of over it. So might as well, the advantage of Ironblood event, if there is one, is, other than some okay rewards, is that you can just do what you want, and there's no repercussions for like your alliance or anything really. It's basically an individual event. You can go in there, smack people around if you want to try to do that, and if you want to do dumb stuff, you want to get the recklessness out of your system and everything, this is the place to do it. Like, you can literally be at work or working like I'm doing, and if you don't pay attention for a minute, it's not the end of the world at all, because this isn't high stakes. You don't have troop losses. It's not like void. So it's a good one to just kind of go in and you can just kind of smack people around or try to. As you're going to see, it's much more me running away from people most of the event, because 1070 was in there and they can bring it. So, but as you saw, I was able to do just fine, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that, how to make the most out of it. So yeah, let's see if I can fire this up here. I'm curious to see how it's going to work. So I got in a few minutes late so it's already had started, and just looking around right now, checking the battle reports and stuff to see who's there. I got in a little bit late, and the screen record didn't quite start immediately at the very, very beginning, but I didn't miss any attacks. It should be all good. So, yeah, let's just see how it goes here. So I'm just looking around for targets to hit, timing-wise. So first, like I said, I'll tell you guys things to do and things not to do. So first mistake, right off the bat there, I literally didn't, when I ported, I didn't even have my fleet fully set, because you get some extra troops in cross nation events, but also just you get a couple free upgrades, and you'll see I activate some of those later and stuff. But my fleet was a little bit bigger then, so I didn't even have my stupid fleet set right, which is annoying, because you should obviously do this before you port somewhere, otherwise people are going to see you and bubble, and voila, that's exactly what happens. So off to a great start here. Remember to like and subscribe for all these great tips on what to do and what not to do. So I've got a set of fleet here, because for whatever reason I like to make things difficult for myself. So the fleet matters a little less in a lot of this, because there's no troop losses, and for some other reasons I'll talk about. And as you're going to see early in the event, right when it starts, I tend to be a lot more aggressive about hitting some people. And that's for multiple reasons. One of them is that I am trying to kind of get rid of some of my troops. Like, you see that there's free troops already available. So I'm just hitting here. What I want to try to do is see if, let's see, hoping that I can minimize this and then basically show reports while you're seeing my screen. I just want to try and see how it works. So you can see here, this is what's going down, but I wanted to actually show, because a lot of this you're actually not going to see much, because I'm frantically like a chipmunk on cocaine, moving troops out of my city and hiding them all over the place, and so you can actually see that much in a lot of it. And this way, I'm hoping you guys, I want to show every report so you guys can see them, the good, the bad, the ugly. It'll be great. And then hopefully even have like, so this is that very first one here, so that's what you can see there. I'm just showing it right here. So this is like a good hit. This is the kind of the goal here. to find good targets and make the most of them to minimize the amount of people I actually have to hit. I don't have any on active or anything like that. You see I'm kind of just smacking my way through here. Again, I'm trying to kill as many troops as I can with as few attacks as I need to do. And in some of the past ones, I got lucky where I only had to do really a handful of attacks against really good targets to get like 40, 50 mil hits, or like just send 3 fleets against like weaker players late in the event that have accumulated all these troops and been hiding to really get the most out of it. So that was this one here. You guys can see. And I'm moving back, and I frantically, as you can see, I was like reinforcing people. I'm not actually doing that to intentionally reinforce them. I'm just hiding my troops. And I put BRAVESTAR on. I should just show. I can show it on the next one. See, look, like I'm literally already getting hit right away by somebody. And you can see the report here, so I don't need to show that one outside of this. But that person would have smacked the living crap out of me. I can guarantee you that, right? So coming back here again, just so you guys can see. Did I skip it? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm just moving my troops out again out of my city. Showing the report again. Worth mentioning, since I went back to it, this post-war rescue in effect for survivors, you're going to see that a lot, and that's because of my low-key, like one of my absolute favorite officers, which is BRAVESTAR. And the reason he's one of my favorite, as you're going to see, is because he saves me so many freaking troops in these types of events. And like I said, I didn't buy a single troop, I didn't heal a single troop, and you can count and add up for yourself if you want from all my reports I'm going to show, but BRAVESTAR saved me 730,602 troops during this event. 730,602 troops by assigning BRAVESTAR. And because I was distracted, I didn't even get him assigned in every fight like I normally would, and he still saved me, you know, a fleet and a half worth of troops basically, and so I had plenty of troops by the end of it. Just so you can see here, there's the points, the Ironblood points there. And so yeah, I wonder what happens if I go up to like 1.5. So I'm just moving back, so you can see here I'm just getting all my troops out, getting BRAVESTAR back on his side, and you can see the first thing right there, I'm about to get smacked, and like this person's pretty strong. One, like I said, they're like they would have, you know, well over 100 in all the damage stats and stuff like that, and obviously over 2K and everything else. I mean, this person would have smacked the living beep out of me. It wouldn't even have been close. So that's why you hide your troops, and you can't hide them in rallies, unfortunately. You can only basically either reinforce people or send them on long fights far away, and you can see another person, I guess, coming over to probably try and smack me too. Yeah. But kind of a moot point because I'm hiding all my troops. And so, you know, I'm basically moving my troops out. My fleet came back and they didn't speed it right away, so I didn't have to rush it out. And so this is me being a little reckless here, attacking a strong person, and just trying to kind of get a sense. Like the one alliance, I didn't show this, I think, right away in the screenshots or in the screen capture, but they're like everywhere. In this, they bring numbers, and that's not surprising. They're really strong. Not only are they really strong alliance and nation, but they bring numbers too. And so I just basically was trying to, I know I'm gonna have to fight some of them. I'm just trying to get a sense of what I'm up against here. And as you can see, I mean, I didn't even kill close. I had to retreat pretty fast. It was just not going to be a good fight. So I got out of there pretty quick, and that's the way to do it if you're overmatched. There's nothing wrong with being aggressive early on, in my opinion, because being aggressive will give you still a sense of who you're fighting and who to avoid. I think there's this perception by a lot of people that maybe like I don't make a lot of mistakes, don't make mistakes, so people are afraid to like make a mistake around me or to, you know, admit or own up to one and be accountable. And that actually does drive me nuts, is when people aren't accountable. But I don't have a problem with people making mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I literally just did. So that's totally fine to make a mistake. But, you know, owning up to it and then not making that mistake again is really important. And what's bothering me is people that just won't be accountable, or people that constantly make the same stupid mistakes over and over again. That's the issue. Like, I made a mistake here, you know, I attacked this person, got smoked, didn't stand a chance. I realized that partway through as I'm messing around with stuff and had to just get out of there, and I retreated too late anyways. I mean, I should have been retreating, you know, at the 10-second mark, or certainly once my front row all started to go down, because obviously pretty costly otherwise. But the thing about attacking is that early on I'm aggressive and I want to get rid of some of my troops, because then I can take the free troops and actually use them. I don't want to use them and have too many troops in my city that I can't hide. The other thing is, okay, so this went really, you know, poorly for me. Basically, this is like a really stupid bad attack on my part. Definitely didn't score that many points, and I lost, let's just say, 313k. Okay, so but here's the reality. At 313k, I'm just gonna pick like here. Okay, so I hit this person. They defended, and they lost 1 million troops and only have one fleet basically left, like 600k left. So if you attack and you F it up, it's not that big of a deal. You maybe lose a couple 100k troops. That's not setting you back so far in an event that you can't still score, you know, really high up in the event like I did. I made a mistake early on right away. I still scored second in the event, right? Because I'm not defending. That's the key. You can't defend. You, like, this person probably scored nothing. They got 10.5k kills, like, right? Not even 11,000 kills. They got no points. I gave up a ton of points, and they lost most of their troops. Now they're just gonna be able to have one fleet for the rest of the event, basically. So they're pretty much like screwed. And that's just like one of a million examples. I mean, I'm gonna show you guys to do this, but like here, this person had 2.6 million. I killed 1.8 million of them in one hit, scored 33 million, and they wounded 130k only. So not even 1/12-ish of the amount of troops that I killed, and probably 1/12 the amount of points. And again, they're down to 1.5-ish fleets or so. So just those are examples why it's really important, if you ask me, that if you're gonna screw up or make a mistake, make it by being aggressive and attacking. It's like, enjoy being able to be aggressive and reckless. There are no troop losses, and save yourself the trouble of having a mistake that costs you pretty much the event, where you can't even compete reasonably. So that's kind of my 2 cents and my strategy on how I approach a lot of this. I'm always keeping my troops out of my city basically until I'm ready to attack. I'm always moving them around, because it's so I'm not anywhere near strong enough to be able to defend against these strong people, and it's too costly to risk it. So I'm hiding my troops, keeping them out on marches and stuff like that until I'm finding a target that I want to, you know, want to hit and want to try to take advantage of if I can. Unfortunately, like, there's no way I'm going to be able to help reinforce my own alliance members in this in a reasonable fashion. We don't have the numbers or the strength. Like, I can't win against that alliance. I know I can't. Like, you can see here all these people here, and I think I don't even know if they were reinforcing each other. I think they kind of were, and like, you can't do that. You have to hide your troops. I'm probably the second strongest, because I think Tech's here, and so I'm probably the second strongest person from our alliance that's here. But I got news for you. I don't stand a freaking chance against these super strong players in one, or the numbers they bring. So I'm hiding my troops. So if I'm doing that, all these people that are not as strong as me better be hiding their troops. And if they don't and they get caught, I'm not reinforcing them, because there's no way. I'll just lose all my troops. Like, it's not going to help anybody, and it won't help them. It won't change the outcome. Even the people I like and that I'm like good friends with and stuff, like, it's not going to help them, because I'm not strong enough, and it's just pointless to waste gold and stuff to speed and to get annihilated. So people need to learn that they have to hide their troops. And anyone can do that. You can be a free player and you can easily hide all your troops. It just takes a little bit of effort, but that's about it. So I think when I kind of get going here, I stopped showing my reports in real time, but here you can see it. So, I mean, this was another decent enough one. I mean, we'll see how efficient this is going to be to go through all of them this way, but might be this one. You can see like 10.5k. Not bad. So I'm just moving again, BRAVESTAR on and off. And my troops are out and about, oot and a boot, hanging out. I'm just looking for good targets, keeping, usually at least two of my basically three fleets out, and I'm seeing here a bunch of shenanigans happening. The nice thing, so this free down here in that left side here, so I'm just trying to hit some people too, trying to get into the party. Those free troops, you'll see eventually I do take them, but I'm not taking them until I really need them, and until I don't have any issue hiding all my troops, ideally with just 3 fleets. It's just much easier to be down to 3 fleets in this instead of 5. And so once I start killing off more of my troops by being aggressive, I just claim some of the prizes that's there for participating and stuff. I'm just basically gonna wait on those free troops until I really need them, because I don't want to have anything extra in my city to defend with. And on the left of the screen here, you're gonna see Tech, who's like hilarious, funny dude, part of my alliance. I see obviously he's gonna get smacked. Unfortunately, I can see it happening, and even though he's got a pretty strong city, he definitely has stronger planes and Titans than I do, and I definitely have a bit stronger officers, but it doesn't matter. We can find, even here, it would not matter. We're not beating them, and he's not able to stop all these people from coming in either. So you can see I'm just basically like, yikes, like there's nothing I can do. Like I can't help him. I would want to reinforce him if I could, but all I would do is just give them a better report, because it'd be more easy kills that pile up. The only thing I can basically try and do in a situation like this sometimes is I'll try to hit some of these other cities, because if they're not hitting their troops, it may make them pull back their army and retreat to get them out of the fight to help them. That's the closest thing I can try and do, is just pick one of these other cities, try and hit it, whether they have their fleet at home or not. I'm basically just there to try to pull away some of the heat that's coming in against him, and that's about the best that I can really do. So I think that must be this one. Yeah, you can see. So I do actually kill a lot more troops in this one, but it's not like, let's do this here. It's not like it makes much of a difference. So you can see that that's me hitting down there, and this is the actual fight here. And you can see it there, and then I have to retreat. GTFO, because I'm not gonna win, and I'm trying to avoid losing too many troops. And then just kind of withdrawing. There's kind of a cluster of shenanigans there. Swapping back out, and I think I already showed that report. But if I didn't, let me go right back to, so yeah, you can see again I saved quite a few, 64,000 troops in that one. Scored about 6 mil, and I killed 370k versus about 195k that they killed. And as soon as this person who I already hit and got beat by, as soon as they basically hit, I know better than to mess with them again. I'm retreating right away, as you already saw in that fight. I'm not lingering. And then let's see, that one there was right here. So I basically am hiding all my troops. They smacked a couple of them, but I'm not I'm not messing around there, and I'm not going to risk getting crushed, which is exactly what would have happened. So again, I'm just trying to find some targets throughout here as I'm looking around. My troops are all marching off to La La Land, having a good old time, and we're probably trying to abandon my city because they know what's coming. And then as I'm just looking for different targets and stuff with my troops out, once I find the next one, I'm going to pour it in. Again, being more aggressive early on here to get rid of all my 2 million troops that you can bring into the fight. So you're limited in Ironblood to 2 million of your own troops. And so that's plenty to keep me preoccupied early on. But once it comes down to it, unfortunately, I can't attack because they're bubbled. I was a little slow there too. So I poured it. Everything comes back to my city. As people already know, once you pour, everything comes back. So you have to be quick about find targets, getting your troops out, or you can always shield too. Remember, there is like a shield breaker. So there's certainly times when you might think you're safe under a shield, and if people want to spend money they can still break through that. So it's best to still have your troops moving and out of your city in most situations if people are spending in this event. And the way to do that then is you can either target the monsters when they spawn, or just have your fleets reinforcing or sending off to, in the process of reinforcing, marching to reinforce your allies in fights. And that way you'll be better off in case you have somebody who's really trying to spend to hit you. And there definitely will be times when they'll be like C-36s even and stuff that like spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to buff up their armies and their titans and their fleet size and stuff, all that stuff. And then they'll use these, send their full 3 million army. And there's some attacks later you'll see people trying to hit me with those that it doesn't work for them, thankfully. And it's super expensive when you do all that stuff and then you hit a city that doesn't have everybody there. It's kind of a huge waste. I wouldn't do it in the first place anyways, but it definitely wouldn't do it if I'm in a situation where I don't think they have all their troops in their city, or I'm worried that they might be moving their troops out, and I do move all mine out. So you can see I'm kind of waiting for this person who I know is going to probably have a lot of troops, and so I'm not so sure that I'm going to be able to win this type of fight and stuff, but it's early, so I'm fine with testing things out and to see what kind of matches I can get, to see if they're bringing reinforcements, just all that good stuff here. Again, early on, I'm fine with that. This is my only bubble I used during the entire event. You have to pay for them after this and stuff and gold and whatnot, so I hide troops. This is the only one I actually use. So let me do what I was doing there. And this was the one against. This is not working as well as I would have liked it to. Not a streamline. Let me see, and I have to retreat there, so that must be this one here. So you guys can see I kill less troops, and yeah, you can see this one here. So definitely kill less troops. And even though my my stats are better and stuff, he's got plenty of troops there. But as you're gonna see here, he gets smacked and crushed by a bunch of strong players from 1070 who are much stronger than me, and that's why you hide your troops, because they went to smack him for not hiding his troops. And even though he could beat me, I didn't even retreat in time there, messing around doing other stuff. Unfortunately, they brought numbers and strength, and he gets wrecked in a way that is pretty much going to knock him out of the event. So, whereas I, again, didn't do great with that attack, but nothing that I can't still rally from pretty easily. So, another attack there that I did, I think, let me just scoot back a teeny bit here. So, I attacked that person in an attempt to, I'm gonna say it was to just hide some troops. And again, I'm just kind of testing people out here, testing the water. So let me do this. My troops are just gonna be returning. Is it this one? Bear with me here. I'm gonna have to find a better way. I just wanted to try this, and I'm doing all this on my phone. And usually I do that on my phone or tablet. I probably need to start using my computer at some point. But anyway, I'm just trying to do almost like a dual screen type thing here. So I already showed you that, getting smacked. I have some rougher fights early on as I'm being more aggressive and not as selective about finding good targets. But whatever, eventually I'll be able to actually get some troops here. And so one has all these people rolling because they're rolling deep with a bunch of strong people. So good for them. Not so good for the rest of us poor souls, but luckily, again, I'm pretty much hiding troops, and I never have more than like a fleet at the most. So looks like I try to hit this person, and they have troops, so I gotta just find that report. Which is, oh, I must have, this one was, because I was just hiding troops, and I hit an empty city. It's this one here. So as you can see, I kill a decent amount of troops. Let me try and get this done again. So doing this. Yeah, so you can see that this is the actual fight, and I'm gonna make a run for it here because I'm gonna be overmatched. And ideally timing it where basically right my front row is kind of gonna die, I get out of there, and that's a good way of doing it if it's not the 10-second marker, getting out of there when your front row about to die. And then you can see he had, again, as soon as those reinforcements got there, I was out too. So they didn't get any kills basically because I was running away, and they had way too many troops anyways there. But I was able to kill not quite double the amount I lost there, so it's still a lot better. And then you can see I ported and I'm hitting somebody here, which would probably be this person here then. So I found another city to hit, and I'm just hiding all my troops in the process, what you're seeing up there now. And looks like, again, a really costly one for them. Gives me like 13 million points, hitting 1.4 mil, killing about 900k of it, leaving basically only one fleet left alive now, so they're pretty handicapped, and I only lost 26k. And the fights clearly didn't last too long. I won't show their stats and stuff, but you can see. So then they bubbled. Too late. Bubbled too late. You need to do that before you lose 2/3 or more of your army. Now you're gonna have free troops to use as the event goes on if you qualify for later rounds, but you've really limited your ability to fight meaningfully going forward. So looks like I'm just looking for people here. I've killed off enough of my troops now too that I'm getting close to like that, only having 2 fleets. I just have 1 fleet. I need to get out of there right away. If I see little red alarm bells, and I move my other fleet out. So I got my 1 attack fleet here, and I actually don't even have a full fleet anymore. I'm a little low, so I'm less than 2 full fleets now. So getting to the point where now it'd be much easier to take the free troops and still have plenty of space to hide them, but I'm not in any hurry either. So I'm just finding another target here to maybe smack. Just scrolling through to make sure I like what I see. And then I didn't. So I'm finally just taking some of these free troops that are over here. So you get multiple free troop drops, and then you can also buy troops. I didn't buy any troops. I just, again, I'm just taking the free ones. So you're gonna see here, I hit, and that should be this one here. So the nice thing is he's probably pretty far away from the rest of his nation, and they're all also were preoccupied smacking the living crap out of a bunch of other people together. So it's a good chance for me to hit, and if I can get through there and kill it quickly enough too, they're far enough away from their allies that they're not getting reinforcements. And so you can see I was able to kind of mow through them pretty quick. And same 1.6 mil troops, I basically killed 900 something K, left a fleet and a little extra of troops for them. And I didn't unfortunately have BRAVESTAR assigned this time because I was messing around with other stuff, got distracted too. But anyways, so that was that one. I'm just messing around down there right now, figuring out where I'm at in life with my city and my officers that are assigned. It's the one thing with BRAVESTAR, I just have to stay on top of which officer's actually assigned to make sure that Morgan's there to send my full fleet size out. Again, reinforcing and attacking people, just me just hiding the troops basically. So, and then the worst case type scenario happens, where as you can see the little swirly guy down there, I am unfortunately kind of having some issues. It's not loading, spinning. It's always the worst. This is why it's also good to keep your troops out of your city for a little while if you can, because if your game basically crashes, you don't have to worry too much about having your whole army end up being wrecked. And I'm just messing around, trying here to get this thing to work, which it drives me nuts when this doesn't work. I'm trying everything I can without having to log actually out and stuff too, but usually it's best just to log out and exit and then load back in as quick as you can, because unfortunately you don't want to have this lag, this server issue or internet connectivity, whatever issue it ends up being, lingering, because you're super vulnerable in that situation. You're just a sitting duck. So luckily, I'm looking now. I didn't check quite a few of my attacks, but that's one I did check. So I got quite a few I'm not bothering with in the middle of the event. But that one I checked, hit was good. I didn't get any reinforcements against me, so it was good because I wasn't able to really retreat. I don't have any troops to hide left anyways. Most of them are out either reinforcing another city that I'm ready as soon as I see those alarm bells to retreat from there too if I need to have my army marching away, not get hit. And then I barely had any troops left to even hide there, which is nice. So as always. And then you can see there was the monsters spawning. I don't usually hit those. Sometimes it's good, and I do it here and there just to hide troops more than anything. It does give some points too and stuff, but I'm not here to like hit monsters. I'm here trying to like kill some people and have some fun and score some points. So I'm not really wasting too much time concerning myself with a bunch of monsters. So I love hives like this normally in events, except when it's an alliance that is way too strong for me to mess with because they have the numbers and they have really strong people and they're really active. So hives are great when you can actually beat some of them, but when they're way too strong for you, it's best to stay and steer clear of that, which I do. So, all right. So that was me hitting, yeah. And again, I'm just switching BRAVESTAR off, so there's not much to see there. And the reason I'm trying to do it this way also, where I'm showing the actual fights, is because you don't see a lot of it during the actual fighting phase, because I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off here, hiding my troops. So this is the fight that you would otherwise be witnessing here. Well, I'm not even like seeing it in real time anyways there very much, because I'm too busy hiding my troops and doing all the other stuff anyways. So wouldn't be much to see here, but you can see it. I smack them pretty good. Then I see when they're all hived up together, the rest of the lines, and there are people that aren't. Those are the people you can kind of target, because they're usually all preoccupied otherwise, hitting people right there, and it's going to be hard for them to notice and or take the time to kill you and or to reinforce. So pretty good one there. I killed like over half certainly, and I had BRAVESTAR on, so I didn't lose much. So that's good. This is just me. I'll go back just a teeny bit there. I hope I didn't go back too far. We'll see. I might have. Yeah, so that was the fight I just showed you actually. So that red was a reinforcement. So I think, let's see if I have a. That's the com. That's main king. Yeah. Okay. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I told you I'll show you every report, so you guys can see everything. And that red alarm that I had seen earlier, I retreated from the city I was in. It wasn't at my city, it was at the city that I was in. So you can see I'm just moving around the screen like, again, coked up chipmunk, trying to find targets and hiding my troops in the process. As soon as my troops are getting back, I'm sending them out generally again. I'm not going to risk getting smacked by much stronger people and losing all my troops. That's like the moral of this whole story, other than BRAVESTAR'S low-key and MVP. You can see that was the last one there, again, 15k troops he saved me there, and I killed a pretty good chunk of troops without losing almost anything. That's great. That's what I want to do. So one brought tons of people to this event, so good for them. They're a very active nation. That makes it hard if you bring that many members, because you actually don't have that many targets to hit when you have this kind of numbers coming to the event. So it can be kind of a dual-edged sword. And then the players that are not hyped up with them are good targets still, but they're strong players I've already been hit by or hit enough to know I have no business trying to mess with them. I'm not going to win that, so I'm not going to even. I'm not stupid. At least not too stupid. So I'm not going to mess around and waste my time getting annihilated and losing all my troops right away. It's a little bit of a marathon. This is kind of a long 3-phase event. And so the last thing you want to do is blow all your troops early on with a bunch of low quality, minimal yielding hits. And as you can see here, I'm just messing around. So looking around. So again, as I mentioned, it's really expensive to upgrade all the stuff these days, the warplanes and the equipment, your Titans and your officer equipment, all that stuff. So money should typically, if you're spending it, be going into those long-term benefits and not into events like this. And it's hard to not spend ports and gold and stuff in this type of event, even though I didn't spend actual money. And those are better usually served in other events. That's why I haven't, as I mentioned before, been doing this event very much. But when I do it, I'm certainly trying to hide my troops, look around like I am right now, find a target or 2 or 10 that I think I have a good chance of beating, and ideally if they have troops there. So it's like if your nation scouts some players and finds some with big troop numbers, like you'll see me identify later. Those are people that I'm hunting down to smack and try to take advantage of too. I would normally be reinforcing my alliance members when they're getting attacked and this type of thing if I actually stood any type of a chance whatsoever. The problem is I don't. As I already mentioned, I cannot help my poor alliance in this one. There's too many one players that are too strong, and I would just get wrecked so bad. So I don't want to lose a bunch of troops, and I don't want to encourage us to be defending in reckless ways that we have no business doing it. I believe I already showed this one. Is it this one here? I think it's this one. Yeah. This person here. So this was the actual fight here. That was them. And my troops returned, and I'm just going back again. I'm not even speeding here. I'm guessing they're not online because they didn't bubble or try to pour it away. And they definitely should have for how bad they were smacked. So they only have 600k left of their 1.6 mil. Gave me over 14 million points, and then you can see I went right back with another fleet. So, and that's what you're seeing. I didn't speed it or anything though. I just attacked. Good way to hide my troops and get more points. So pretty straightforward. I didn't lose much of anything on that one, and there's 600 down to 275. So that's just the first one, second one, third one, and I slow marched it there. As you're seeing, I'm hiding the rest of my troops elsewhere, and I'm just killing these there. I don't have to speed, so it's worth taking advantage of that. Anytime you don't have to speed your troops, it's great. You can still get the kills. You don't have to waste gold or speed ups, and it keeps my troops out of my city, so it's like triple victory in my opinion. 2.7 million points ain't much, but I'll take it for no cost basically. Looks like the next one up, I'm going to be smacking an empty-ish city. This one, let me go back just a teeny bit. 25 something. So I showed you those reports. Oh, this is me looking back through my reports just to clear them out, so I'm not too far behind and keep track of stuff. So it's more my OCD than actually necessary in real time. There's not really a strategic advantage to that. Just OCD about little things sometimes. So plus I like to look through them in real time-ish because I want to see what I'm up against and make sure I'm strategically adjusting things accordingly if I'm doing really well or doing really poorly with whatever strategy I'm using, which is generally find weaker players, attack them, and hide troops otherwise. So I must hit that door person. Their fleet is out. I can see a fleet marching away even, but I'm hoping that with just one fleet out, they may have more troops, and maybe they'll recall or get some reinforcements that I can take advantage of, even though they're, again, in a very strong alliance. So I'm not super hopeful, but they're close enough. It's worth a try for the speeds here. Do it for the speeds. And then that would be this one here, which I hit a whole lot of not much, which is great that they had, they had their main fleet out and they didn't have much else left, and that's the way to do it. So you can see I'm just not getting much there. Call that one a bunt. Not a full swing and a miss, but not a whole lot doing there. And then you can see I was actually just switching my officers back, realizing that I probably, okay, just went back a little too far. Speed, yada, yada, yada. Attacking. So below on the left side of the screen there, the free troop thing that you see there, there's that little like hexagonal shape that says 2 on it. That's the upgrades that you get for free. So you get 2 for free basically, and that'll happen each stage, and so that's what you're kind of seeing. So again, now I get these free troops. There's the 4 pair drops so far, 1 free, 1 in each, and you can buy the other one. I'm not going to buy it. This is going slow. I'm gonna have to do this faster, I think. But yeah, so I'm looking for targets and looking for people to hide my troops and reinforce people under bubbles, and or just to get them marching out of my city. It's much more of the same. They're posting stuff. Yeah, I mean, we should all know better at this point. Like, we know that if we're fighting these strong people, like, we can't be reinforcing. It's just a waste. Wasting my troops, wasting my speeds, makes the reports look much juicier. I have nothing I can do to help, so I wish I could. But anyway, on the left there, you could see that was just so you can see them there. The 2 was like the upgrades, and you'll see when I go to the next stage that shows up and what like is available to unlock and upgrade and stuff. And then my troops that are wounded is below the 1.1 mil there with the little like soldier guy. I didn't ever click on the map even below that, but there's a map that kind of shows up with like the layout of everything. I defended there, I guess, once. And then this was somebody attacking that I just left a few troops. Like, I had a handful there, so I didn't bother to recall them during the event. And oops. So this is me just talking to poor Tech after he got smacked and all. So that was when you saw. This is just the defense. Again, I just had a handful of troops there. I can't really reinforce too much because if they brought numbers, it just wouldn't be worth it and too dangerous. That was that. And then this one, I guess, is coming up next. So I think that's me showing it in there. Returning. If you do watch this, probably a good idea to watch on 2x for a lot of it, because you can just speed through it and stop and slow it down for the parts that matter. I'm basically just saying, like, I can't reinforce. Like, this is not news to anybody. Everyone should know this by now. I'm all about, like, troop efficiency and being smart about stuff whenever possible, which is hard for some dummies like us here and there, but I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to set a good example. And so I can't be messing around and reinforcing in these situations where, again, they're just way too strong for us. I don't have any business. I'm just a little minnow swimming in the big ocean against all these sharks here. So, all right, watching all that with a little bit of FOMO, but knowing better than to get over there. I already attacked her and got smacked. She has some really good damage stats too. Actually, excellent damage, long range reduction. So I found a target. Not wasting too much time here. Hitting. They're smitten. I think it's this person here. Should be this one here, so you can see a juicy one. This is what's going on right now. Me in the game adjusting officers and hiding stuff right away because I have to, since my troops returned when I ported and I don't want to get hit. And then switching on BRAVESTAR as per the usual. There's a theme here. It's not rocket science. And then it went pretty well. You know, 1.1-ish mil killed, 600k, so a little over fleet left, 16 million points, and I only lost 1k, and I was too slow actually to BRAVESTAR assign, so I didn't even have him benefit me. He would have saved me like 6k troops or something like that. So you can see there I was just speeding in the video and hitting again, which is this one taking advantage of somebody who's probably offline and are not paying attention, and hitting them again. And I didn't even bother with like my main fleet to just send it out there to hit, looking around for more targets as the attack withdraws. And I have minimal troops in my city as per the usual. You can see there, actually had him assigned BRAVESTAR, that is in this one. And then you can see 300. So I just sent another, my main fleet return, I sent it again, and that's what you're seeing here for like the third hit. And then the 1, 2, 3, fourth hit, 100k. I'm just again same old, but if I don't have to, it's a good way to keep my troops hidden. I don't have to speed on all of these, so I'm going to take advantage of that and just kind of kill them out. Swapping BRAVESTAR back off after the battle, getting ready to send. He's more going to send them out again to find some more peeps. 2 hit. Looking around all over the place. Hopefully I can find somebody to see. As soon as you see that red, I'm just getting my troops out. Before I even bother to look at who's coming in, I'm just limited time. I see the red, I'm sending troops out at anyone, reinforcing whatever it may be. Granted, it doesn't matter on this one. So let's see here. Okay, so this is my next one. So they didn't even attack me. I think I actually recalled. I don't remember if it was against my city or not. It doesn't really matter that much. So I'm just meandering, looking around. Avoiding the monstrosities that are some of these big guys. So far in this event, I actually was getting attacked much less than I remember from prior events. Maybe because I have a 39 now, but my city people are slightly more intimidated by me. Probably not so much, but I'd like to think that. And you can see in the upper right corner there my points. I'm in 4th right now, and there's 50 seconds left in this. So once you get down to like this fight's taking so long, but even if I sped and hit there, I wouldn't get there in time to kill him and win. And so these are just the other 3 attacks I did of the 4 attacks. 30 seconds left. You know, there's no way I'm going to be able to port and hit. The attack's taking way too long, so it's not worth it. Now I'm claiming the rest of the free troops because you have to claim them here before I go into the next phase. I don't want to not have that option. So there's the 4 paradrops with 4 free troop drops, and then you can buy the other 4. And I didn't buy any. I'm not going to buy any. I have plenty of troops still because I'm, again, making mistakes in attacking, not by defending, so it's not a big deal. This was completely pointless, this attack here. A lot of 5 people there, it's great. I don't know why people are speeding. There's no time left, and you're not going to get any of those points. Like, don't attack in that last little period of time. If the battle doesn't end before the phase ends, you don't get those points. It doesn't like carry over, so you have to be effective and efficient with when you're attacking and targeting people. Right when this next phase started, I was having some like kind of lag issues again. It was like, I don't know if it was server or internet or what, but I wasn't able to. So I just wanted to show you guys this too. So I hit this little guy down here, the blue guy down the bottom, the like radar thing, and I've never actually even used this before, but you can track the top 10 commanders. They'll have a little special display by them for 30 minutes on the map. Never done that, never going to do that, but just that's what that is, and people can see that. Let's get this show on the road. So again, I'm having some issues with like it loading and getting into the next. So I'm in 4th right now, getting to the next kind of phase. But it now kind of kicked in, and so you can see you don't have much time before your bubbles drop. And so you want to have your troops moving out to hit monsters, moving out to reinforce other people. If you're ready to port the second your bubble drops, whatever it takes to make sure you don't have all your troops in your city now, and you're very vulnerable when a bubble drops to getting smacked right away by somebody strong. So you want to be on top of it right away, and that's why I'm, again, frantic hummingbird style doing this here, moving all my stuff around, moving my troops around. And then in a moment here, I will hopefully realize that I have that little red dot next on the left next to the hexagon little buffer thingy here to buff stuff up. But I was literally again so frantically just moving my troops out of my city and stuff because I have a lot of respect for these stronger players that I can't mess with and how they can ruin my chances. A lot of these other people slow down later on because I think they run out of troops and they may not want to spend. This is more of a marathon. I'm picking good targets, and with BRAVESTAR and all that stuff, I'm able to basically continue the whole 3 phases, and I have extra troops to spare still, which is really nice. So people are taking a look at my city, probably just want to admire how beautifully empty it is. Check out all my sweet, oil and wheat. So I'm just, again, frantically looking around here. I spent, I think, a little while in the beginning here, really not finding much for targets that I liked, and probably having an existential crisis on whether or not I wanted to start spending more gold and stuff to keep pushing in this. So watching kind of not a lot of great or eventful stuff here. It's kind of thing about porting there, but that's just So even if the blue bar looks good, that can be skewed by a small fleet attacking, and that was like a C-27, and you can actually see the numbers on the screen. I'm kind of speeding through this part a little bit, but I could see that there weren't that many troops there when I was looking at the actual numbers of troops, since it's not on light mode, and it wasn't going to be worth porting and speeding. I was trying to be more selective than that, so another strong-ass player. It's weird that there's so many people with these big old decorative dragon peacock creatures now and stuff, so, I mean, this, to each is their own. Again, I don't have anything for that. I don't think it's necessary. I think that is the equivalent of an island item that just you wear on your city, and it's super expensive in my opinion for what you actually get for it. So, whoopsies. So, I'm hitting again. So it must have been this one. Is that right? Yeah, it was. It's the same one. Let's go back to city. So you can see it here. Hiding my troops on the actual map. Now my fleet one fleet returns. So I'm moving it out again. But I took a risk and fought 10 and 17. I lived to tell the tale in this one. Not many can say that. Boop. Looks like I defend. So Lion did a good job of not having any troops in his city, but I was reinforcing him just because I was marching troops there, and luckily it worked out okay. I didn't have a super strong opponent. They didn't come with a lot of numbers, so I didn't lose anything. It wasn't costly for me there. But you do have to be careful if you're reinforcing and they get there, that you're ready to recall right away, or that you just do recall right away to avoid getting smacked and giving up a bunch of points. So I should jump back in here just because, dang it, 2 seconds too late. Oh boy. Now the question will be if I can find my spot. Technical difficulties. Okay, so I'm just showing, this is the actual hit that I already showed you guys even. So 40. I just wanted to show you guys what it actually looked like, but dang it, I already activated there too. Poopy doopy. I'll get this eventually here. So that's what happens when you got slow fingers. So my troops are returning. And you can see that there's about to be a parry drop for troops here too in a few seconds. So you get more during the second one too. Just claim my rewards there that I was given for fighting troops you can claim there. And again, clearing my fleets out, attack, withdrawing because there's nobody at that city. Just kind of checking some BP from how fat cities are, if they're going to be good targets or not. Always, obviously, if a city's not on fire, it seems like a juicier target, but sometimes even if they're on fire, they can still be a good target. So I'm just looking and sending fleets out, trying to figure out what my next move is going to be here. Okay, now, so this is just, I wanted to show you guys where you can see the fortify bonuses that will work for this event and all 3 of the phases, but do not last outside of it. So you get 2 free ones each stage. So that's why I upgrade 2 here and get, all in all, you know, a little bit of troop attack, troop HP. Then there's the Titans, the plane, zombie leader, and fleet size overall that you can increase those things. And I just do the free ones, which would be 1 more. 30%, okay, for the female officer. Now I'm back to looking around. What I do best. Alright, let's speed up here. Just looking for people to hide my troops. Looking for enemies here, seeing who's fighting who. Interestingly, there's a strong opponent that has entered there, because there's somebody that can beat up on some of the one players a little bit, so they're gonna have to be a little more careful, at least when a strong person shows up, to give them a little bit of a run for their money. I can guarantee that I'm not that person, so don't anybody worry. I'm not tooting my own horn there. I'm definitely not the one. I'm still just hiding, as I do really well, just running and hiding. It's a lot of work, but you have to do it if you want to do well in this event. So this is just when I was reinforcing, I believe. And so now, because it's the second round too, you get more people from the other world areas together, and so that's why more like 41s are going to show up, more strong players are showing up to fight. And that's just going to happen each stage, where you have to kind of get ready to run and hide. So yeah, I think this was the defensive one. Looking around. Found somebody. And I'm less concerned with my fleets here. I'm kind of doing mental math on this to keep track of kind of what I need to do for having enough front row, keeping in mind that now we have the added advantage of the extra plane benefits, which gives you some more front row throughout a fight too. So some of these battles I can definitely send a little less front row and add more damage troops, because you're going to get that respawning of those golems, and they definitely will help. So looks like we got some people fighting there. Not I guess. Right. So this next one here is this one here. So, and it was a pretty big hit. Yeah. So you can see it there showing. I can go back just a little bit for you. Like that's the one right there. Magical, beautiful. Those are the kind of hits that are the best, because you don't give them many points, you score a ton of points. And I didn't have to waste a bunch of speeds because I was close by. Then they do bubble, so they know they're online. I'm not going to get another attack in there, unfortunately. But it certainly was juicy. Still plenty of front row, and then my golems are up there too, getting smacked and hopefully reflecting a little something. I'm just showing that report, the zombie killer one, the defending one. So minimal troops in my city, looking for targets on the actual map, and then you can see this done. And a great hit, 33 mil. Anything over 30 mil is pretty juicy in my opinion in this, at least for me. Killing 1.9 mil troops. Dude's got a fleet and a half left only, and I scored 33 mil, and he scored very little, so pretty rough. BRAVESTAR also killed a bunch of troops for me too, so not a great thing to get caught, to get your pants down. These were just the other ones I already showed. I'm not going to get into these. I hit somebody with just my hiding troops there, and it didn't really score me any major points, but they barely had anything there, so it's fine. This is the next big one, so I'm just reinforcing somebody. If I think I need to hide troops, that is. So here then I actually just, well, to buy some time, I am just attacking like I think a monster there, which was close by anyways, while trying to find my next targets. Admittedly, it's a lot more work to do it this way, because you do have to really be on it with moving fleets constantly out of your city, but if you want to freely compete and actually score well, you can't be getting hit with troops in your city, with a lot of troops in your city at least, by these big strong alliances that are going to wreck you, give you very few points. I can't stress that enough. That's like all that really matters is decentish selection of enemies, and not getting caught with your pants down with a bunch of troops in your city defending against these strong players. You'll lose too many troops to be able to compete unless you want to buy or heal, and I'm not about that life. So this is a good one here. I added some more troops from the free ones, and I'm just looking for targets. Swapping BRAVESTAR off again, or on again, excuse me. So let me just go back a little here. So I didn't end up attacking that person. But I'm looking around, luckily I got somebody pretty close by, and there's only 15 seconds left. So that's what I'm looking for usually, is that type of situation. Unfortunately, they're moving some troops out, but a bunch of troops come back too. So it actually worked out nicely. So I, as you can see there, I was just biding my time. Too many attacks to keep track of. Nothing there. This one. Right? No, sorry. This one, yeah. So, didn't have that many front row here even, but the opponents that aren't that strong, I'm getting away with it because my golems are respawning and stuff. Plus, again, no real troop losses, so if they get into a little bit of mid row or whatever, mid range, and kill some of those, it's not the end of the world. I'm not worrying too much about setting my fleets right now. But a nice 18 plus mil points, killing over 1 million, and I'm just back to looking around for more targets again here. Yeah, I'm not messing with that guy. Number 1, 41. He's strong. I can guarantee he will mess with me, so you'll see him coming in a little bit, but I'm certainly not going to go seeking him out. I'm not that stupid and suicidal. Alright, so reinforcements coming back, so I'm just getting more out. I don't have all that many troops to hide, as you can see here anyways, as I've lost a fair amount and I haven't taken advantage too much of the free ones to come. Ooh, and that was, unfortunately, like you can see, that's a big one, a big missed opportunity right there. I was a little slow. That would have been a really juicy hit, but unfortunately he beat me to it. I'm just moving troops out of my city. That's what I'm looking around frantically for here. I'm gonna have this on 2x speed too, so it looks like I'm an even more coked out hummingbird, because I'm speeding up too just to get through this. So yeah, but overall, pretty fun event to try stuff. Lots of people on fire. Unfortunately, he bubbled up, so I missed out on a good opportunity. That was a big hit. Tons of troops there, and then you can just see. Go back a little bit here. So. Showed that one already. It was there. And then I'm just hitting an empty city next. Hitting another city with not a lot of troops there. Trying to make this look a little bit bigger too. Well, he doesn't attack me there yet, but don't you guys worry, he will try to. So as you go further in the time just within each individual of the 3 phases, more and more people will probably run out of troops, but they do get a refresher of troops from the free drops, even if they're not spending money. And so there's always opportunities from pretty much every event I can remember, where if you're hunting and you find a good target or two, some weaker players will toward the end still have like 3-4 million troops, and you can just wreck them because they don't have good stats at all. And that's when those situations are I will send 3 consecutive all my fleets at them. I'm not worried about ratios of kills to deaths and stuff, and I'm just trying to kill all their troops as fast as possible, plus hiding my troops outside of my city. So a little bit of a lull here. I think I'm not really finding a ton. A little quiet, and there's only 2 minutes left. 2 minutes in. As the time goes by, it gets closer to that 2-minute mark. And once it's probably around a minute to 30 seconds left, I'm not really going to be attacking because I'm not going to be able to finish somebody off in that quick of a time period. You can retreat though too and still count the points. That's an option if you would need to do it. And then right as I'm more focused on just getting these free troop drops still, that's pretty important. I don't want to miss out on those. So just frantically looking around as we wind down to the last minute and a half here. Speed it up, speed it up. He's doing fine. Under 1 minute. And luckily most of my fleets are out for a long enough period that they're barely going to get back in time before this round ends, and I don't have to worry that people are not going to be able to get through all those troops. It won't really be smart to hit with this 20 seconds left anyway. So some people are trying to squeeze out every point they can get, but I'm gonna pass on that. So I guess that was, I should just, I had the one hit there, so yep, so I'm not using any items here in this one. As I already mentioned, I'm not having to heal any troops, not having to buy any troops, but certainly I've been spending some gold, as you guys can well imagine. It's not super cheap. Speed ups and gold, it's the name of the game. So now with like 30 seconds left, I'm just taking my free troops. I claimed my 3 free troops from those paradrops. And again, I'm not spending, so I'm not worrying about the other ones that are there. Too bad, so sad. Now I'm just, my troops getting back to my city as we get ready to wind things down and go on to the third and the final. So I must have just hit this person, huh? Person here, not a lot doing. And you can see I was just honestly sending troops there to hide them, and the fleet happened to hit, and he happened to have some troops there, so fine. And then this was the other one where I sent, I have 2 opponents here from another alliance. I got just a fleet, not even officers, tanks, stuff. I'm just hiding this fleet again. Luckily, I still kill 219-ish K, and they only wound 14K because I didn't even have BRAVESTAR on. But this happens when your opponents are not that strong, that you're just sending your fleets to, and that's why I tend to not try to send fleets to strong opponents in case I get distracted or I'm not paying attention or working or whatever it might be, where I can't recall before they get there. You don't want to get stuck against a really strong opponent with a bad fleet too, so you just have to be cognizant of that as well. Luckily, this is pretty straightforward and simple stuff here, so so this is just a map of how it looks like. It starts out with the 4 green globes down here, 4 green territories. Then they go, the 2 right ones go into the right side, the 2 left ones go into the left side of the blue, and that's where we are right now. You can see I was on the right side of the blue, and then we go to the orange here for the last phase of this. So before we get there, oops,
'Cause I don't want to miss it too much. Back to a minute left. So as I already also said, this is a fun event just to have a good time, smack people, try things, but get out of your system, especially if it's like reckless or not ideal stuff to try in these events where they don't cost anything, so you're not making mistakes in costly events like Void, where there's troop losses or general your alliance's reputation is at stake potentially in placing well and stuff. So don't be shy to do stuff in these events, especially this one, and earn some merits and decent enough rewards. Hopefully don't cost you too much to do it, and I'm always trying to do these for as free or cheaply as possible. So now I'm just again showing these last two reports again that I already kind of showed before. Not much time left, counting down under about 5 seconds left before this round ends. And then my report here, I just don't. So the phase 2 of 3 was complete. Shows me my individual points, my rank there. I just wanted you guys to see for this last phase, because it's important, that the kill points bonus is whatever. The wounded healing limit doesn't, it's whatever. But the alliance member time to attack and reinforce an alliance member and attack members of this alliance, you still can't do those things. So you never could attack your own alliance in this, but you also can't reinforce your own alliance in this stage. Share the third stage. Be aware that you can't reinforce each other even if you wanted to. I wasn't reinforcing anyways earlier because we couldn't do it, not safely at least. And then I'm just qualifying rewards there, you can see too. So that round was pretty slow for me. Not a lot of good targets, not a lot of great action, but hopefully this round I'll find some. So just so you can see also this whole heal wounded thing, you have 42 seconds basically and to decide the wounded if you want to heal them or not, because the wounded units available for healing cannot exceed the corresponding max limit. Troops that started healing before the system protection time ends won't be counted toward the max limit. So wounded troops, it shows I have a lot of wounded, 1.5-ish mil. I'm not healing any of them. I don't need to. I still have plenty of troops left, which is good. I don't want to have to. Oops. So just making people aware again. 2 more free ones. And so it's now my fortifying the Empress is 60%. That's the way just the random just dropped on this one instead of having to go to the other 2 purples. And then you can see I've got the attacks. Now I got 24% increase, 12% HP, and my troop fleet size is the same still. So if you were to spend money fortifying these, it's pretty cheap to do it. If you were going to spend money in this game, I would definitely, what I definitely used to do is fortify a decent amount instead of like buying a bunch of items. You get more consistent benefits throughout the whole battle to fortify stuff and really expand your fleet that way and everything, instead of dropping a bunch of money for one hit that, if it doesn't go well, is just going to be wasted anyways. And you're going to see that happens to people, so they waste them on me. And it's pretty cheap, only 5 of those little diamonds right away. Just like the last round, you don't have a lot of time to mess around here with your troops in your city before your bubble drops, so you want to be looking for strategies to get those troops out of your city safely and avoid getting smacked in a very vulnerable position with all your troops in your city right when the initial bubble falls. That could be very costly and would pretty much ruin this third phase for me if I were to get hit there. So I'm hoping not to. So I'm looking around for some targets. A lot of 1 players as always. So just set my fleet. It would appear that I certainly do attack that person. And I see it there. Remember. These are not the same fight. Or it is, excuse me, the same fight. So all I was showing there was, yep, no way. Tires are down. Excuse me. My armies are down. It's like 5 a.m. here. A little sleepy. Pardon me. But so yeah, I traded to avoid too much of a costly fight. Luckily, I killed about 250k. I lost a little more than that though, so I didn't quite break even. Again, a lot of the 1 players are pretty strong, so not ideal targets, especially when they have their troops and their titans and plane, everything all fully in their city. It's just not a very cost-effective strategy for me, as you've seen so far. So let me just, where am I? Man, I don't love this. I gotta really probably get my laptop going on this stuff instead of streaming everything from my stupid little teeny phone, trying to use my fat uncoordinated fingers here to scroll through stuff and not look like an idiot. So yeah, this is me attacking this person, hiding my troops, realizing from afar even that I'm not in a great position. This is going to be too costly. Getting the heck out of there. Running away. Bravely, tactically retreating. Back to hummingbird scrolling on all kinds of stimulants, looking for targets. Tweaking my fleet, make sure I'm more front row just in case. Hitting them, but oops, I should hitting them with not a lot of troops, because as you can see there, they sent their attack fleet next door and they didn't hide the rest of their troops, so I at least have some opportunity to kill some troops. Probably not as many as I would like. 800. So that was the fight that you're seeing right here, or would be seeing if I wasn't swapping officers and messing around. So they don't have their main fleet there, and so it's kind of an extra costly bloodbath. They lose about 50% of their troops that they had there, so over 400k. I lose about 14,000, had an extra 4,600 saved by BRAVESTAR, and scored about 7k in that one. So looks like I hit that person static. So this person, I just hit it accidentally and hiding my troops. Didn't have much of anything there. Nothing to see there. Nothing to see here. And then this person will be next. Alright, let's see when I find them. So that is this fight right here. And then what you were seeing on that screen is just a scout that we sent, that there was a person who has 3 million troops there, 3,044,000 troops. So I went to find them and they ported and they weren't there. So I was like scouring the nearby area to find them, to hit them, and that's what I'm about to do. So let me pause for a second. So this hit, BRAVESTAR helped me. I killed 830k of the 1.3 million, scored about 27 million points. So they again don't even have a fleet, 470k left only. They only wounded or killed 100k of my troops. So huge win for me again in finding these good people to attack. That's kind of what I'm trying to accomplish. This one was, I already showed Nada. So now I got 3 in a row here against this person who had way too many troops, and this is literally a farm apparently, I guess. But this is one of the biggest hits I've had, 75 million points almost. So that's what you're looking for, and I could not be any better than this. This is like the perfect example of what you want to find, because I ended up losing 24-ish thousand only and killing 10 times that. So I wounded 2.4 million, and it didn't cost me like anything, and tons of points against 74 or 75 mil is a lot of points. So See, this person has no business with a green plane and like super weak Titans. They're literally, their name says their farm. They're literally a farm apparently going in there, and the most generous farm I've certainly found. This is the first time I've ever been proud to be mentioning a farm because it was great for me. So this is what you want to find if you can. It'll really help push your score up. It did for me quite a bit, and then I just again 900. I'm just hitting again. As you can see, not a whole lot to see there. They're just getting smacked. And I didn't even bother, like I just sent right away with all these fleets one after another waiting. So I didn't even have Titans in play, and this is even an ideal fleet necessarily, but I'm just so much stronger in this farm full of troops, and I don't want to waste time. I don't want to miss out on troops, and I don't want to get hit so that it hides all my troops just saying all 3 consecutive fleets like this. And this is the last one here. Again, I just sent 3 in a row. I didn't even worry about whether or not I had Titans in play on this one. I just sent all 3 fleets that I had even available immediately to try to take advantage of that. So, and then I'm just looking at those reports here now. So, pretty juicy. You know, that was 6 mil there, 18 mil, 74 mil. So 21 plus 75, not quite, is that 95, 96 mil. So not quite 100 mil points from this person, one person alone, but pretty darn close. So I must have found somebody here. Time's winding down. Looking for friends everywhere I go, trying to make some friends. Alright. It would appear I am in the process of UW. Alright, making a new friend. Cool. So I hit this person. Blue stats, or blue plane at least, which is an improvement. And they're going down pretty quick. Looking through reports, you can see that was a 12.5 miller. Killed a little over half the troops there. They don't have a whole lot left. This person was empty, so nothing. Looks like I'm hitting them again. Apparently I'm just using this time to do other shenanigans. So I already showed this. My name is Rita person. That report was empty. I didn't hit anything there. You can see I'm speeding in and nada. I don't even know if I actually sped in. It might just be because I have this on 2x speed. I don't know that I sped anything there. So I'll just keep my troops out of my city. They're scouting. I don't know why. Probably because they're jealous about my wheat. I don't blame them. I'm very wheat rich. And then I just did the additional hit there. So somebody trying to come and hit me. So ta-da! This is a worth mentioning. So this dude is a C-41 with great stats in the city who sent the entire fleet he had. He used the item, the expensive item, to try to hit me and only managed to, I didn't even catch 100k. So talk about overkill and completely unnecessary. This is why it's better to just use, I think, the buff ups within this event if you're going to spend, and not make the mistake of putting all your marbles into an expensive item that doesn't land. And people hopefully hide their troops, but a lot of people don't. So I guess the thought is that most people, when they do this, they really think they're going to catch the person. I already showed this was nothing. This is the one here. So I literally have some zombies, a couple strategies and stuff, just not much of anything. There's not much doing. So I didn't score much or anything, but they sent a huge army, and what a waste. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you hide your freaking troops. You get hit with one of these by somebody, especially maybe it's earlier in the event, you're done. You're done unless you can get the free troops and build enough of an army or fleet to attack again, but otherwise you are game over in this. So don't make yourself a good target, because especially when people see that too, they will keep attacking you. So just hitting nothing there. nothing here. I remember there was like a stretch that I was just sending my fleets out to avoid people and basically striking out and hitting nothing. There was like nothing really here either. A meager little fleet. So have some of the upcoming attacks there. Same with like this one. Just not a lot doing on some of those ones. I'm gonna go back into the actual fight here. So just showing, looking through some stuff. And as you can see, I'm just, again, marching my troops out as they come back in and getting back out. And that's what you're going to see with a bunch of those empty reports where I don't hit anything. Nobody with any troops. That's just targeting lower level cities to get my troops out and make sure I'm not going to get smacked in a very costly fashion by this C-41 who has now taken a shining to me. As I said already too, normally I would get attacked a lot more than this, I feel like, in recent event and the last times I was doing Ironblood, so the fact that I haven't gotten attacked too much is a little interesting. I think it probably is because people are just not, hitting me and getting anything, so they're not continuing to retry. I'm also a higher level city, so it might deter some people a little bit, although I doubt that with some of these big fellows. I think it's more they've tried and they didn't get me, so they're not trying as much anymore. Alright, winding down finally. It's such a long stream, my god. I'm growing old. Mm-hmm. Come on, come on, come on. Let's get through this. Some points you get for the rest of the rewards, and then I think this is where I was distracted at work, not realizing I had flipped my screen up even. Excellent stuff here. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. So this is another empty person here, so I use them some speeds and little peanuts. That was this person here. What the hell is happening? Yes. So you can see it was a stretch of a whole bunch of nothings that I think I already showed. Yeah, this was the one. Nothing here. Space dust. Alright, let's see here. Oop. Sounds like some people are ready for breakfast. Some of the homies. I agree. That's how I feel after these painfully long streams. I'm with you. Trust me. Blah, blah. Not much going here. But I wanted to just... I guess if I'm doing 2x, people are doing 2x, it'll be 4x. Solid math, right? So that'll make this stuff go faster for people to still get the gist of it. And I don't know that I expect people to watch this whole thing, but I just wanted to include everything to be complete with this. No more troops to buy, no more leveling up or anything, but I've got plenty of troops left. Multiple fleets still, more than enough to do some damage, so. And then when I see that red incoming, I'm always worried, but it's just like the space, like dust person, I think that there's nothing to do. That'd be this one here, defense success. I had one attack fleet only against that, and they'd send nothing anyway, so it's just like wasting my time. So this is the next one, actually hit somebody good. Yeah. So come on, load up. My god. This technology sucks. Alright. So I really need like a split screen way of doing this, I think. It's just harder on the phone because it's kind of small anyways, and I was hoping to kind of integrate this in like a more convenient fashion. Looking for people, not much doing. Just returning. And we're waiting for my turn to attack. So 12 plus mil. Again, decent hit. Didn't lose much. Here, you saw this was the last one where I was like waiting to get into the fight, and then this is all I killed. Not much there. 2.7 mil. And then I believe I went, back a couple of times over because the opportunity presented itself. So let's see. Then this was one where they had less troops. 1.2 mil. Did they heal troops? I didn't even know if I noticed that. Oh, interesting. Another juicy one there. So yeah, I'm just showing you guys. That was just now. Why not? $16 mil, nice. 30k wounded. 6. Okay, not too bad. Here, this person comes in again, coming hot. So that was, this attack was happening, and then this is where he attacks. And again, you saw there's a city. Looks like he might have got nuked and hacked. Of course, setting himself up as a good target, somebody's gonna nuke him. But he, this time at least, just used this. I don't know why he keeps trying to spend and attack me. It's so silly. Like, granted, twice is not that many tries. There are people who do it like 10 or a dozen times in one event. It's just like, how brain dead are these people that they're just like wasting stuff for no reason and not gonna hit me? I don't get it. So I just keep hitting this person in the meantime and hiding my troops elsewhere. So I'm actually in the middle of attacking right now. That person in the top right there on the actual screen. And then they finally bubble. I don't know why they also kept healing troops or recruiting more troops, only to get smacked by me again multiple times in a very costly fashion, even without planes or a Titan. And then they finally bubbled up. So gave me a lot of points multiple times. Yeah. Nothing doing. So I'm hitting empty cities a little bit here too. This one's also empty. So I'm always tempted by those when they're not on fire anymore. It's super hard to resist. But there was nothing there. Kind of a waste. Some people there. Speeding in, not much doing. Hiding my troops. Kind of a cluster there because there's a bunch of cities almost stacked up on top of each other. So this one I already showed. Unfortunately, I just had to go back a little bit. He tries to hit me, misses. And then, just to recap, I'm looking for people. That wouldn't have been a bad person to attack there. I don't think I did, though. Yeah, I hit that DYS Sudan person. Not much doing. Didn't have much there, and killable was there. And then, so this will be the next bigger hit that I get. Coming up. Right here. Recording and speeding. Pretty sure I sent multiple. They weren't. That didn't look very strong. I was just trying to get as many points as I could and kills here toward the end. And that's this fight here then that you're gonna see. I didn't even have that many front row. Didn't matter. Golems, do your job. Late in the event like this, I'm just kind of sending. I need to be more careful using front row in some fights later on too, still, because they do matter if you're picking tougher targets. When you're not picking as tough a targets, it doesn't really matter. So that was a good one. I'm looking right there. That's what I just did. Killed 911,000, 25 mil points, lost 106-ish thousand. BRAVESTAR'S saved me some serious troops as well. So that's good. Nothing here doing here in this one. In the game, I actually just looking at my reports. And then I hit again. Remember, you saw I sped multiple and tried to kill them off, but other people were hitting too, so. Alright, winding down here. Just going down my reports that I already showed you guys anyways, but just clear them OCD style in the game. Waiting to finish my troops off here in their attacks. Nothing. I already showed that one. I already showed that one. And then I hit one more third time, but there's like no troops really there. And that report also, I think, popped up as well. So I need to go over that again. This guy smacking people left and right. Luckily, he's missed on me, basically swing and miss times 2. And it cost him some expensive items too that were just for waste. So I'm hoping that that person's not going to try and test me again. But even if they do, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to have troops at home. So, still just scouring for targets, as it's pronounced in France. Alright, let's see. Last couple minutes, let's get this done so I can go to sleep. Target acquired. Not on fire. Can't resist. Although, I definitely didn't bother to speed on this one. I think I was just hiding my troops because I was not optimistic in the middle there that they didn't already get wrecked. Let's see here. It must be crazy. Yeah, so this one here, yeah, I believe had nothing. It was basically 6K. And I'm just looking for more targets again then, the best I can. And as you can see here, I have kind of a run of nothing, just a bunch of big fat zeros all through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then they attack me there. So we're gonna have a stretch here of toward the end of just not much of anything, not much action. It happens sometimes. People hide their troops and or just out of troops last couple of minutes of the event. That's not a surprise. Some pretty cities there, kind of cool looking. I think I have port here, yeah. And who do I hit? This person, and they had nothing. Actually, they hit me. So here it is. There you go, nothing. So this is the first of the stretch of like, or second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 in a row that are basically nothing. I guess they feel like scouting. Moving my troops. Again, all these like wasted attacks are just me hiding my troops on this like stretch of like 5 or 6 in a row. I want to say that I don't do much, don't hit much. Not uncommon at the end. Most of this is me more trying to not give up a big hit at the end that would end up getting me knocked out of whatever place I'm in, and hopefully finding 1 or 2 more last second juicy targets here. And I am ranked second now, as you can see, with only about 4 minutes left. So, and I'm obviously not going to catch that monster first place person who's just dropping like hundreds and hundreds of dollars on items to attack with that are kind of unnecessary. But when you're that strong, you clearly are buying most of the packs out anyways, and probably don't have to worry about budgetary stuff. So it totally fine. It makes sense to then spend more. What you don't want is you're for like a 30 or a 32 or a 34 or whatever it is, not buying out all the boxes to upgrade your city, that you're wasting money on this event instead. That's a very foolish decision. So this person here, this hieroglyphics MFer, tried to hit my city, and like so many before him, found it to be pretty much empty. So that was this one right here. So sent a full fleet. I did have some peanuts there for him to nibble on. Wounded quite a few troops though. They wounded like 116k, and I only wounded like 4k. So ideally, not having any troops would be better. I attack here, swing and a miss. Yeah, I think they're trying to attack. I'm not having it. So yeah, that was this one here. Then I didn't have any troops to that one. Had just a handful there, a smidge, too many, smidge too many. Strike out there. 1 decent attack, 1 nothing attack. So this is the last one here. Then that's worth mentioning. Right towards the end, the other ones were all, you could see the reports there, kind of just strikeouts. I'm just gonna be hiding my troops here, so down to the wire. All right. Well, nothing like taking your frustrations over a void out on a nice little brainless Ironblood kill event. So as you can see, I found somebody that I fancied in there. Even got little zoomy guys around there floating in, trying to illuminate the way for me. I don't know why these people are otherwise attacking. So anyways, this is this one right here. Gonna be a decent hit. So yeah, 500k down, a little over 50% of their troops dead and gone, about a 10 million point hit. I only lost by 8k, so pretty solid. I don't know if I ever showed my stats in this, but they're fine. Decent damage stats and stuff. Just going through the reports here toward the end. This is the last hit, basically nothing. This is that second to last, and then there are no other ones. Already shot that. Strike out. And then that was the one I just showed too, and I showed the video of. Now I'm down to a minute left. They bubbled, I believe, there, so it wasn't like I could keep going in and hitting them over again to try and eradicate the last couple 100,000. And now I'm just attacking to get the troops out of my city in the last 40 seconds here, just so again I don't get a speed hit on me that would cost me right at the very end, of course. Want to finish strong, so this was a pretty self-explanatory event. Hiding my troops aggressively and actively, attacking people pretty aggressively, because the repercussions of that are not that severe. You lose a couple 100k troops. In the scheme of things, the big thing would be not defending, especially against strong people, unless you're really, really strong, because you can't control, necessarily how many people are coming in. Bubble traps aren't really reliable in this at all, and it can be very painful getting hit and losing. Like you saw, 50 to 80% of your troops in one hit. So make sure that you're being smart about this. And you can see my individual rank. I don't. This is side. I don't know why YouTube is a swear word for them. I guess so. Like it doesn't show up. So one thing. What did that show? Okay. I just wanted to show where I placed in this event. Gonna hide my troops. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys to see. I know it's like I got some work to do on. I'll probably start doing more on my laptop here, but I wanted to just give people a chance to see and to try this like dual screen almost thing where you could see the battles too. Ideally, it'd be nice to have them like side by side or see it in real time, a little more clear, the actual battle, but then also what's happening on the screen. The issue with this was the screen was also me frantically moving around so much. It wasn't going to be that interesting switching between BRAVESTAR, hiding troops constantly. There's not as much to actually see for people, so it's not as visually gratifying. Anyways, the event ends and I finished second, which 440 or whatever thousand is fine. That's certainly enough to stay in the top 20, which is my goal because of those rewards that I already showed you guys. Can't stress enough. Do this event and have fun. And if you want to, try not to spend. So yeah, 40. Okay. 40 was at 439 million. That's fine. It's enough to probably. I don't think top 10 necessarily. Probably not top 10, but top 20. I'm sure that'll be good. And it did cost me quite a bit of gold, but whatever. If it, I was ready to spend some. I'm kind of over some of this. So, and I'm getting fed up with my nation's nonsense. All right, perfect. I just hit the 200 marker. Time to go to bed and slow march this. All right, well, thanks again for watching. I hope this was helpful for you guys. There's actually another one. Oh, good. There's a second one over, so let's just see what happened there. Yeah, so I figured that much. Yeah, so I'm all the way back to 5th now, which is totally fine, but now that we had our second round, and I never enter more. It's expensive. I don't want to do more than one. So that person, wow, they scored a lot in that fight. They didn't do much in the first round. I guess they were third. Never mind, they did stuff. I don't remember fighting them very much, but they're going hammy jammy in this second, and then total ranking 5th is fine for now. So I don't think I'll stay in. Maybe I'll even get top 10 with that. That'd be surprising, but if I do, great. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If any of you actually made it to the end, then extra kudos to you guys. I've got multiple other videos I'm in the middle of working on right now, kind of simultaneously, and so I'll be dropping more and more of those to try and build up a big YouTube archive of how-tos and what to do and not to do for different events, so people can use it as kind of a reference guide and teaching point. So again, thanks for watching, guys. So I actually was just closing out this video, but then we of course had the second round end, and this person was going like nuts. I think he's in first place now, but man, did he sure send a lot of troops and money. And I mean, these are not stats that like, I don't know. This is not a person's. I mean, they're in 1153, so they're a little bit newer nation for sure. So maybe they are max spending on stuff, I guess. But man, to spend all that money, like crazy amounts, just repeatedly attacking with these expensive items to try to take first, like just, my God. I mean, they're at least getting some favorable results, even though they're attacking Moon, who's like our top 2 strongest, along with a couple of reinforcing. Man, oh man. I don't know. This is like, oh, nukes are so expensive. Just multiple, like, person's dropping like hundreds of dollars on this event. That's so much valuable things they could buy when their stats are still like damage, not even over 100 on a lot of the stats. HP and attack just in like the 1500 range or whatever it is. Like that's kind of like similar to me. And man, there's a lot I'd be upgrading and buying over, spending money on this. To each their own, but this is one like, Jesus, this is so stupid to me. What a waste. Like, unless they're max spend on everything else, and this is just par for the course for them. Otherwise, oh my god, that's just dumb. Is there any good ones? Looks like Moon catches him. Yeah, like he's got good stats. Oof, 14. Yeah, like damage. Oh man, I don't know. I just added this is like this is like the extreme opposite of what I did. So maybe this is just like for the perspective of I spent nothing and didn't finish super great, but certainly decent enough prizes. This person spent, I don't know, many hundreds of dollars, and they are currently in first place. We'll see. I bet the third round somebody goes hard, and that 1.1 mil is not going to be enough. So somebody's going to probably pass that up. So it's kind of like, I don't know, spending all that money. I guess if you really like the event, good for you, kudos to you and everything. So that's the biggest thing. If you really enjoy it, have fun. It's a game, play it. But if you want to play it smart, again, my perspective is that this is just way too much money wasted on the wrong thing for somebody who's not a C41 with like really good stats and good build out already. So my humble opinion, to each their own. At least that was good to see the exact opposite of what I did, to kind of compare the two, and hopefully they got some really good fun hits and stuff that they can look back on fondly, and they did definitely have some bangers. So yeah. Anyway, thanks again for watching, guys.